Ladies and gentlemen, your favorite white colonizing Zionist prince, tall, traveling clack, coming to you live from the United States of America. Let's take a look at Trump's counterterrorism head, Sebastian Gorka, on TV. Let's check this out.
Seb Gorka, isn't there an argument to be made for the world wanting peace now rather than these endless forever wars? Is the rising tide from the populace in countries around the world not that we've had enough of this push for endless war?
Yeah, but that doesn't mean anything. I mean, to quote Trotsky, you may not be interested in a war, but war's interested in you. You can't just say, "Ooh, I don't like it. I'm going to say la, 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 and I don't want war." And to the point about what happened in Israel, I strongly commend, and Neil, please don't, just say that's all a conspiracy theory. I've seen the unedited videos of what Hamas did, and it's horrific. The charred babies. You may not have live video of them being burnt, but I've seen the aftermath. I've seen a father being beheaded with a garden hoe as the Hamas resistance, quote unquote, were laughing. I've seen young IDF women hiding under a desk being shot to death as the Hamas resistance fighters, quote unquote, are chuckling to themselves. So, it is absolutely horrific and should be dealt with as such. But to your point, we need leadership back in the White House. Why was it? It's so fascinating that for 4 years there were no new wars. Putin didn't do anything. The Middle East was stable. We had the Abraham Accords with 5 different nations because people respected America and feared my boss. When Biden came in, he surrendered Afghanistan. Putin revved his guys right into Ukraine, and then Hamas kills more Jews since the Holocaust. I mean, this is the reality. Everybody laughs at this man, and we need, I agree, no more wars, but the only way to get that is to get President Trump back in the White House.
Isn't it right, though, to acknowledge that atrocity is atrocity? That everything that has happened in the Middle East these months past, everything from October the 7th, and then what is happening in Gaza, isn't it possible to be offended by both and to say that with 100,000 casualties in Gaza, 30,000 dead and the rest wounded, missing, that enough is enough?
No, because that's not how wars end. You don't say, "I don't like it." I mean, how did World War II work out? We didn't say proportionality, and we're only going to kill as many Germans as they killed Brits. No, we didn't say, "Oops, we don't like war. Can you end it?" No, we absolutely destroyed Germany and we nuked Japan. This idea of proportionality is asinine. When you're killing children and raping women after you killed them, then you must salt the earth with the ashes of those who did it. And there will be collateral damage because that's the notion of war since man first picked up a rock and hit his enemy in the head with it. So we need to be realistic. War is the history of mankind, and we need people who will prevent it by being determined in the protection of their nation. And Israel has every right to make sure this never happens again to them.
With no limits on what happens. The International Court of Justice has said plausible case to be made for genocide in Gaza. Didn't. Now, surely when genocide is being invoked, surely enough is enough.
That organization is a tool of the globalists. The International Criminal Court. Are you kidding me? And the statistics from the Hamas Ministry of Health, come on. These are the guys who actually put rocket launchers in hospitals. These are the people who hide their armories in the schools of Gaza. And we're supposed to trust those figures? No, let's be realistic. We want the fighting to stop. President Trump wants it to stop, but it's not going to stop by wishing it to stop or by calling one side genocidal when they have more lawyers preventing them from doing what they could do than any other army in the world. And I mean the IDF. I know the IDF very well, and they are very, very circumspect about international laws of war. Unlike the people who they're fighting, who think children are a target that is absolutely justified.
Clearly there is no sign of the heat going out of this febrile atmosphere. Thank you for your comments this evening, Seb Gorka. We will continue to talk because talk is all we have.
Seb Gorka recently followed me on Instagram and I was kind of shocked. I've actually been shocked by the last year of the people who have followed me and interacted with my content for the way that I've been speaking up about Israel. But he did, and I sent him a message that I'd love to get my message out to the President of the United States someday about the Mizrahi Jewish heritage. And he's been just so supportive. He sent me such a lovely message back. And knowing that somebody like him, who really understands Israel, what it takes to fight in the Middle East, is so close to the President of the United States, really reassures me that Trump is on the right path and the team around him is the right team. And I believe that Seb Gorka was with him before in the first administration in his first round. So I really, with somebody like Seb by his side, I think that the opportunity to get to the right point in the Middle East again is, and it's not like Trump doesn't know this stuff, but the opportunities are endless. Everything that Seb said in this short interview is correct. And this is a constant point where I don't understand these, like, I don't know who this Scottish guy who was interviewing Seb Gorka. I don't know what his point is. He kind of looks a little hippie-ish, but maybe he's liberal, maybe he's not. It doesn't matter. I don't understand these people's points who are like, well, when is enough enough? Enough is enough when they have 59 bodies of people, more than half of which are dead in Gaza, and they still, till this day, refuse to give them back. In any context, whether it's for a ceasefire or for money or for food, they refuse, and it's the civilian population that is in there, that is in cahoots with Hamas. There was $5 million on the table just for information about these hostages. They weren't willing to give them up. And they say, when is enough enough? We don't want to see the videos anymore. You know what? Enough is enough when you start calling what happens in Sudan a genocide, or in Syria, or in Lebanon, or in Yemen, or in Somalia, or in Ethiopia, or in the Congo. Go call that a genocide first. Bring that to the ICC. Rule on them first. Then I'd be willing to talk about Israel's supposed genocide. Seb Gorka puts it in a way where you can't not misconstrue it. This, whether or not you want to be in this war, you're in it. You don't get to decide whether you want to be in this war or not. And I talk about the West when I say this. This is your war. The West, if you're listening, whether you're in America or in the UK or in Australia, they are coming for you. You're in this war already. You want to pretend like you're not a part of it? That's on you. We're not pretending anymore. And it's good to see people like Seb taking it seriously, because he realizes America's in this war, whether America wants to be or not. American citizens, whether you've served in the army or you're just vacationing somewhere in the world, you're a part of this, whether you like it or not, but not because of what your country has done, but because they hate you based on your values. Like to be gluttonous and eat as much fast food as you want, like to not have to pray, like to be atheist, like to be a Muslim, like to be a Christian, like to be a Jew under one civil society. Guess what? They don't like that. They don't believe in that. They don't believe in your right to be. Like being gay, like being straight, like being trans, like being asexual, like being a fucking goldfish. They don't believe in it. And they dragged you into this, not you them. They brought you into this. Now you got to make a decision. We're making it in Israel every day because we're fighting for it. You got to make a decision now if you're going to keep bitching and complaining and saying, I don't want to be a part of it, it's Israel's fault. Or be a man like Seb and say, we know what it takes to dissuade people from starting these new wars so we don't have to see any new dead bodies. That's strength. You got to show strength and in front of a bunch of cave people. And that's what we have, unfortunately, in the Middle East. Bunch of people who act like cave people, bar a few nations. A few of them are really great. But the rest really showing that cave person mentality. Now you got to make a decision. What do you want to do? You want to hooga booga your way out of this, or you want to run away and cry? I suggest you hooga booga. And we'll see you guys in the next one. I love you long time. Goodbye, Klats. If you believe in my content and want to support me, just know your help is needed. There's a bunch of great ways to support me, being PayPal, Buy Me a Coffee, or joining my Patreon community down below. Patreon is the best way to support my channel, and you'll get a bunch of cool perks depending on what tier you join. Another great way to support me is by buying my merchandise on thetravelingclat.com. I regularly drop new merch designs like this beautiful hat, or this amazing shirt, where you can support the channel and get something cool for yourself. I also have an amazing Discord community with people from all over the world. Thank you so much for your support.